How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs co-beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. I hope everyone's having a great day as we get closer to week 3 for the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the New York Giants in their home opener on the road. It's going to be a game that a lot of personnel are going to keep their eye on, whether you be within the organization, rooting for the organization, or cover the organization. This is a game that could spell good or bad for the Kansas City Chiefs season. As you guys know, they are 0-2 going into this game, but they also face a team that is also 0-2. So it's one of those scenarios that one unfortunate team, no matter how the game is played, whether it be a really good game or a really bad game, someone's walking away with another loss and someone's walking away with their first victory of the new campaign. With that being said, now that we are so close to game day, I'm going to give you my 3 big game day storylines to watch for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we did this a week ago for the Philadelphia Eagles game that the Chiefs held at Arrowhead Stadium, along with our other co-beat writer for the Kansas City Chiefs on SI, Zach Gilbert. Now, Zach can't be with us today, but he will be able to return next week and inform us a lot of stuff that happened in New York for the Kansas City Chiefs, hopefully following a win. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. Our co-beat writer, a guy who is boots on the ground, will be here with us on the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast come Wednesday next week, But with that, here are my 3 biggest storylines going into the New York Giants game, week 3 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the first one should be very obvious for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is we've got to see some life out of the running back room. It is a storyline that has been plagued and circled, highlighted, starred, all of the notes that you can make on your notepad, that this is an area for the Kansas City Chiefs that they need to step up in. Both Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, 2 options for the Kansas City Chiefs running back room, have collected 47 rushing yards in 2 games, while Patrick Mahomes leads the franchise. Less carries, 13, I believe it is, and a guy who is kind of in playoff mode already, seeming, if he doesn't want to release the football, we know how Patrick Mahomes, how competitive he is. We just need to see some more confidence come from the running back room. There has not been a lot of explosion for that room this season. And I've noted all offseason that this is a very, very important year for both running backs. You could even say Elijah Mitchell, though he has yet to play the game for the Chiefs this year, as well as Brashard Smith, but he's kind of in a different category. Let's just focus on Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco. Both are in 1-year deals, if you think about it. Isaiah Pacheco is looking and playing and hoping for another contract down the line. We know that his 4-year rookie contract comes to an end after this year. And so far, if he's looking to get paid, he's not going to by a lot of money. He still has some glimpses of a player that he used to be when he first broke into the league for the Kansas City Chiefs. But since the injury last year, it's been held back. 47 rushing yards through 2 games and 13 carries, 15 carries, 13 or 15. It is not promising for a young guy. But I do think that if he is able to break out in this game against the New York Giants, it will be a breath of fresh air, not only for the Chiefs organization, but also for the running back himself. Being able to get everyone's eyes off of your back, knowing and hoping that you can do well, and then if you don't, kind of raise some questions, I think that would be very beneficial for Isaiah Pacheco to kind of take a load off and have a really good game. He's going to have to, especially if they want to kind of silence the doubters of the Chiefs offense as a whole. For Kareem Hunt, he's been utilized primarily for first or gaining first downs, but even then, a lot of his runs and carries have not been explosive whatsoever. For a guy who leads or is in the top 10 for a Chiefs running back rushing yards all time, I think that he needs to step up as a leader. And I think that it's a very, very important that the running back game improves and continuously improves this season. You can't rely on Patrick Mahomes to rush the football every single play whenever a run is called. Moving on to the second storyline, we need to see some wide receiving explosiveness. Now, we know going into this season that the Kansas City Chiefs' goal from last year into this year is to be more explosive on the offensive side of the football. Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball deep, wide receivers bringing that in. And granted, last year you didn't necessarily have a whole lot of wide receivers who could break free from defenders out deep down the field. Now there's a chance that Xavier Worthy does play for the Kansas City Chiefs. He is listed as questionable, as well as Jalen Royals looking to make his NFL debut. He's another guy listed as questionable. I think that if those two guys are able to play in this game, one of the two are bound to have an explosive play, a huge yardage play. We have seen thus far this year, Tyquan Thornton has been that kind of target. He has the ability and the speed to break away, but his inconsistency at wide receiving position right now, it kind of shows. But that's not to say anything that he isn't a player to rely on. He's had way too good of a preseason that earned him this spot on the roster to not be utilized. As well as Hollywood Brown, he's gotten a lot of receptions, but a lot of short receptions as well. Looking for a little bit of explosiveness against the New York Giants defense for week 3. I think that this could be a game where the offense has their first explosive performance of the year. Keep in mind, their season high is 21 points, and they've allowed 20 or more points in several games since dating back to the Super Bowl. I could even say in the playoffs as well last year. And finally, the third storyline to watch on game day for me is defense is key. The defense improved from week 1 to week 2. And they improved very well against the Philadelphia Eagles team. 2 playoff contending teams in the Los Angeles Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles, they put the Chiefs defense to work. On the other hand, when they're going up against the New York Giants, you can't take them lightly. I don't know if you guys have been keeping tabs on all of this. The New York Giants scored 37 points last week. Though they lost, 37 points is a lot against the Dallas Cowboys, that was. Or Russell Wilson, if you're not careful, if you're not taking him seriously, he could throw over 450 passing yards like he did against the Cowboys. He had 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Though this aging like a fine wine of quarterbacks in the National Football League has become a narrative, I think the Chiefs' defense has been very sound and have shown improvement from week 1 to week 2. Improvement enough to where they can step into New York and be able to hold off an offense who is kind of hit or miss. The first game that we've seen thus far, they scored 1 touchdown. They got 6 points. And then 37 points against the Dallas Cowboys. It is crucial that the Chiefs defense find a way to hold off their offense. And excuse me, the Giants didn't even score in the first game from a rushing standpoint or a receiving standpoint. I believe it was just field goals. Excuse me for how I said that then. They got 6 points off of field goals. Then they also go on and score 37 points. You can't take them lightly, and I think that the defense knows that. Steve Spagnuolo will make sure that his guys are ready going up against a former team of his. As always, folks, be sure you follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs throughout the entire regular season. You can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI Analysis. Articles, columns, podcast, all of it get posted there. Kansas City Chiefs on SI is the place to cover and get your Kansas City Chiefs news. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you tomorrow. Remember, be kind to one another.